Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be reviewing and demoing two looks using the new Tiger Eye Quad from Tom. Using the new Tiger Eye Quad from Tom Ford. This is one of the new CREME formula quads. He released 3 new varieties of this new formula, and I was excited, kind of. The colour stories didn't really tickle my pickle, float my boat, grab me, so to speak. You know, there's nothing there that we kind of haven't seen before, nothing exciting and new, at least to me. If you guys are not new here, you'll know I'm not a huge Tom Ford eyeshadow fan. I love a lot of other products from the brand. I love their foundation, their primer, cheek products, lip products, but I've never found a quad that really excites me, that appeals to me. So a lot of them I just pass on because the colour stories just don't give me something that I'm excited to try. So when these new varieties came out and I saw the shades and the pictures, I just thought it's just more of the same. A lot of these Tom Ford quads look the same to me, but I was excited to try the new formula. So I decided to pick one of them up for research purposes, and the one I went for is Tiger Eye. This just seemed the most different to me, particularly because of the peachy shade. This just looked so beautiful in the swatches that I'd seen that I felt like this is the one that I feel I don't have 25 of these in my collection. There's something different in here that I'm excited to try. However, when it arrived and I used it for the first time, I was very underwhelmed. I was really disappointed. It wasn't giving me what I expected. Everyone, the vast majority of people that I've seen using these and reviewing these quads love them and just think they're amazing, and everybody's raving about this new formula, and I was like, what am I missing? I just didn't feel the same way. So I wasn't really planning on reviewing this quad because I was just a bit late to the party, you know, forgot my invite. But when I used it and I thought, you know, I feel like I'm having a totally different reaction to this than everybody else. And I think I'm having a bit of an unpopular opinion. And I feel that unpopular opinions are actually really helpful and useful to a lot of people when they're deciding whether they pick something up, to hear a different perspective and someone who's had a different experience. So that's the reason why I decided to do a review and do a video on this quad and get it up, and hopefully it's helpful to someone. I also decided to give it a bit of a second chance because the disappointment in this quad for me is relation to one shade in particular, and it's the peachy shade. So today I'm going to be doing the look that I did first time of trying this quad. I guess the look using all 4 shadows in here that most people, when you see this quad and you see the colour story, that's the look that you're going to be envisioning and that you're thinking you're going to use it for. And then I'm going to experiment using it in a different way, trying a different look to see if I can get any more enjoyment out of it and see if I can like it more when we just pretend this shade isn't in here. So I'm going to be doing 2 looks with this little quad. The 2 looks you can see on my eyeballs already, and then I'll give you my final thoughts after this second chance and possibly last chance saloon with Tiger Eye. So let's get started. So you can definitely see these shadows are different by these sort of smudges that are left in the pans after you've swatched them or after you've used them. They have that like creamy residue that you wouldn't see from a powder. So I'm going to use it in a couple of different ways today, because the way I kind of first used it when I used this palette and I didn't like it at all was the way that I feel like when you look at the shades, you want to use it, like you definitely want to use this peachy shade because it's so pretty, and I've seen the swatches look beautiful. So I was very much wanting this to be like the star of the show. But in order to see whether I actually can get some use and some enjoyment out of this palette, I'm going to use it in another way as well and just kind of ignore this shade, because this is the shade that kind of wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to use more so these three on the other eye, but I think I'd be remiss of me to not show you this shade so that you know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to start off with my Rephr 16 brush and the matte shade. Now I'm going to be gentle because this formula, I mean, I will say that this matte, it definitely reminds me of the Natasha Denona cream to powder formula, which is what I kind of imagined it would remind me of when I was reading about it, and it was a creme to powder kind of formula. Immediately I thought of that formula from Natasha Denona, which I really enjoy. Not everybody does, but I do. And a little like these, I feel like are much more pigmented straight off the bat than those from Natasha Denona. I think they're more forgiving. This one, you have to make sure that you use, like, literally I just touch my brush and it will just go. I haven't put any more on here, this lightest little touch in that pan, and it will go forever. Like, it definitely goes a long way. It's very easy to blend. The formula of that, I have no issue whatsoever. I am actually going to do exactly the same on this eye. It's just, do you see how literally one little tap in there and it's going for forever? So you might have to be a little careful if you want a lighter, softer look, that you don't pick up too much on the brush. But having said that, it blends out so beautifully and so easily that it's not a big issue. Like, if it was really hard to blend and it sort of packed way too much pigment on initially, that would be tricky to correct. But it blends itself. It's so easy to blend and it's beautiful. As far as the formula, I have no complaints when it comes to the matte shade whatsoever. So next, with my Rephr 21, I'm going to pick up that pretty peach shade, which is the whole reason I thought I would love this palette and the whole reason why I bought it, because this was the shade that I thought kind of caught my eye and I thought it looked super pretty and a little different to what I have in my collection already. And it does, I think on the eye, on me at least, it pulls like golder than it does peach. It just kind of needs to hit the light to kind of pick up any of that peach. I'm just focusing this shade right in the center. Now I am whacking on a lot of this color because I do find this shimmer a little lacking as far as like punchiness of shimmer. I kind of have to use a lot of it, keep building it up to get it to be like as shimmery as I want for like my taste. And then with my Rephr 02, I'm going to use this shade to kind of blend between the matte and that shimmer. Now there's just really no fallout from these shadows, like at all. There's nothing in here, no like pickup, no fallout on the cheeks, anything like that because of that cream formula. There's just nothing to worry about when it comes to that. So here's where it kind of started to go wrong for me. I'm now going to go in with my finger and kind of brighten back up the center, that peachy shade, because this is where I started to be like, this just isn't what I'm going for. Like, there's just not, it's not doing what I want it to do. Now I'm using my 27 and I'm going to go back into the matte shade and just intensify the crease a little there to give me some depth. I'm definitely liking this more than I was the other day. I think just because I wasn't really sure what to expect. The first time you use kind of a different formula, a newer formula, it's tricky. You just don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know how to use the shades necessarily, or I don't anyway. Maybe if you are a professional, you just do. But for me, I kind of need to get to know shadows and how to use them for my own taste. And then I'm going to go into the last shimmer, this one. I'm just going to add a bit of this with my 21 again at the front to kind of brighten this up as like an inner corner highlight. And then on the lower lash line, I'm taking my trusty 26 and the matte shade. Now here, you do have to be super careful because I did definitely end up with a much smokier look than I intended on this lower lash line. I feel like the lower lash line is where you make a look like day or night, and if it's super smoky, then it leans for me more like nighttime than it does daytime for what I like. So this is the look that I did like the first time I used this palette. This is the look that I wore in my video for the first time trying it. And I definitely like it more today. I think I did a better job of it today, using the shadows, knowing those shadows better. But it still is, for me, it's just a little bit lacking. It's just not exciting. Like I did this and I thought it's fine. I need more. I want more. I just really wish, particularly this peachy shade was just popped a bit more and was a bit brighter and a bit more shiny. I need more. I feel like it's lacking. Let's do this eye now. Let's try the other way that I wanted to use this palette. So I'm going to go in and just deepen up the crease with the matte. Give me some depth and definition to the crease. And this is the thing. These, I mean, the matte I have no issue with. I think the shade is very pretty. I think the blend is amazing, and the buildability and how pigmented and everything is just fabulous. I really like the formula of the matte, but yeah, I think the shimmers is where I was a little disappointed. So I'm going to ignore that peachy shade. I'm going to start off with this shimmer, the bottom shimmer. Kind of going to use this shimmer on the outer portion of the lid, because I think this shimmer is kind of the star of the show and it's just really understated. And then this look, it barely gets to work, you know, it's only kind of serving a small purpose to the look. So I wanted to give this shadow, which I thought had more potential, a bit more of an impact in the look. And then I'm going to use the lighter shimmer with the same brush, my 21, on the inner portion of the eye, just like I did on the other side. But I'm just going to give that a bit more of a time to shine. I think these two shimmers go beautifully together with a bit of sort of light and depth, a bit more impact. I'm just switching to my 27 and the matte shade just to blend the outer V, add a little bit more there. And then my 26, that's the jumbo pencil brush, again on that lower lash line. So here we are super close up. I'm going to give you a close up on my eyes closed so you can kind of see. This is the first look that I did when I first had the palette with the peachy shade, kind of the star of the show. And then this is the newer look that I tried today without the peachy shade in use. I just think this is so much prettier, so much more impactful, so much more kind of like what I like. I think you can see like how much brighter and shimmery it looks, as opposed to, I just think that peachy shade is just lacking. As much as I packed it on, used a finger, it still is just kind of lost on the eye for me and what I look for. It's just kind of missing. I wish it was brighter and more vibrant. But this, I actually really like this look that we did today. This is a learning curve. This is the way that I would use this palette. Let me add some mascara and then I'll be back. So here, I guess, are my final thoughts on this quad. The disappointment for me isn't to do with the formula. I think the creme formula works perfectly and beautifully, exactly as you'd expect and exactly as intended. I suppose. I think the formula of this is amazing, and therefore actually Smoky Quartz, which I think is 4 mattes, if I'm not mistaken, that might be the best of the bunch. That might be the one that actually is really, really great, because I am impressed by this. I think the performance of this shade is amazing. It blends incredibly well. You need the tiniest little tap of your brush in there and it will blend as far and wide as you could possibly dream of. The blend of it is very easy, amazing, no fallout, no kick up. It's fantastic formula. I do 100% think the matte is great. I actually quite like these shimmers. I like this look that I did on the other eye. I do. Are they groundbreaking? Absolutely not. Are they special? Absolutely not. They're very repeatable, dupeable shades because they're neutral shimmers. I mean, how many neutral shimmers could we possibly want? And they're definitely not quite giving me like Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath shimmers. But lots of people like a more soft, smoother shimmer, and for you, you may absolutely love these. I think ultimately Tom Ford, it just seems like the eyeshadows are just not for me and my preferences. The disappointment in here is the peach shade for me. I really thought this was going to be so pretty and just so vibrant and peachy, and it's just kind of lost on the eye among these other shades. And maybe it's to do a little bit with my skin tone and just how I do my eyeshadow, but for me it's just not giving what I wanted to give. I wanted a pop of peachy golden delight, you know, and I'm just not getting, it's just getting a bit lost. It's getting a bit lost. I feel like it doesn't really show up that well. I'm not getting much peachiness. It's just kind of a bit lackluster. So this for me was the disappointment. And I feel like that's the shade that you want this quad for, which makes it like the whole palette a disappointment, because this was the shade that I was like, I bought this whole quad for. The others are like completely unnecessary when it comes to my collection, and I guess a lot of people's collections. Like we have a lot of these shades. So I guess in summary, the short version is there's nothing wrong with the palette. I think everything in there performs really nicely. I think it's a lovely color story. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever. It's just something that is just not for me. It's just okay. I can't see myself really ever using this again, to be honest. Within my collection, it's going to get completely lost. There's no reason for me to reach for this over like 58 other palettes, because it just is kind of lost. It's neither here nor there. It's just okay. It's not giving me anything new or exciting or special. Or especially special. Who I think this is for is someone who likes a softer, more subtle look and who doesn't want vibrant, bright or really punchy shimmers. If you want something a bit more subtle, softer, the formula in here is very nice, very forgiving, very smooth. And if you hate fallout and you hate kick up and you want like to use a tiny little bit of shadows and get a nice, pretty soft look, then I think that this will be far more suited to you, and lots of people will enjoy this far more than me. This is a case of like, it's not you, it's me. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, it's just, you're just not for me, and that's okay. Okay, it's allowed. It is sad though. I understand. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on this new Tom Ford Tiger Eye palette. I hope you guys will share your thoughts. If you have picked any of these 3 palettes up, which palette did you get? Were your experiences similar to mine, or do you just absolutely love it? If you had the Smoky Quartz, how's that one working? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Did you just skip and pass on all 3 of these because nothing caught your eye, or did you pick some of them up, and what were your experiences? I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.